Hello, YouTubers, and welcome to the first ever Fishing Friday here on the Ohio Patriot Chasing Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR the Ohio Patriot. And for this inaugural Fishing Friday, we're going to be talking about a bunch of different stuff relating to various go-to fishing stuff different tackle and whatnot that I use throughout the year when I go do fishing at various places, family places, throughout the state of Ohio, pretty much is what it is, and a couple other areas here and there. Mostly just in state is what it usually is. Not I really haven't gone on fishing trips to any other states is what it ends up being. So yeah, this is basically just Ohio-based tackle that we're going to use here in the state of Ohio. So this is going to be obviously something that I planned on doing a while ago. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to really do it. And for some reason, I cannot seem to find my chatterbait today because I had one that I bought a couple years ago and never got a chance to use it yet. And now it seems to have disappeared on me again. I know I saw it the other day and now it's just MIA again. So I don't know. Gotta do some spring cleaning here pretty soon and hope it'll show back up then at some point. Who the hell knows? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know anymore. But I think maybe I threw it in a bag and that's where I threw that bag at is what it is now. So, but anywho. Um, so we're at Walmart a couple days ago. Not a couple days ago, probably 2 weeks now at this point, and picked up a couple new things for the coming season. So got a couple new baits here that I'm gonna plan on using this year specifically for some stuff. Uh, Obviously, Ozark Trail, the Walmart brand, is now making their own baits. So we picked up some of these hammer hogs that they had over there. They had two different kinds, which were these right here, which are the sun perch coloration, and they're more or less. It almost looks like a watermelon red to me, personally, like the coloration of it. I've seen a lot of others that look very, very similar to that sort of color there, and they've all been labeled as watermelon red in the past. So I don't know. It's whatever. It's fucking Walmart for you. But then we also had these other hammer hogs, which are blue black flake, and again, that's usually a standard coloration and stuff. So we'll see if these are actually good or not. They actually remind me a little bit between tubes and what would basically be um, the one zoom lure that I have. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens with that then. And then going to actually one more thing we picked up over there was one of these teeny little cream baits, which we've used some of these in the past. These are really good, especially those little T hooks for bluegill and crappie fishing specifically. You can also catch bass on these, but you got to watch sometimes because with the way the bass tend to inhale baits, it can get stuck way down in the throat area and maybe not be able to get back out because of the how teeny the hooks are and stuff like that. So yeah, sometimes it can be one of those things where you basically just lose the bait, possibly lose a fish on that one as well. So you got to watch. But you know, these are good though. I have caught crappie on something similar to this before, and I've also caught I think a couple bluegill and some stuff like this before. This actually I think was like a buck 25 or a buck 50, something like that. It was real cheap though, and it makes sense because obviously everything over there, like pretty much everything in America right now, is made in fucking China. So, unfortunately, we should be able to make these in America, but we don't. And it's absolutely ridiculous, is what it is. But of course, they're made in China and imported into the United States. There, into Texas specifically, is where cream is located. And it's like again, you can't tell me you can't make American jobs to make baits like that and make it quality too, for that matter. Because that's one thing I noticed too with a lot of the over the last like 5, 10 years or so of fishing, especially when I do pan fishing for bluegill, crappie, etc., is that after the season is done, almost all of my jig heads, the paint is starting to wear off of them because it's like this cheap Chinese spray paint they put on it or something, and it's just disgusting, dude. And the fact that we know that lead causes cancer and stuff like that now, or is a cancer-causing agent, all you're doing is basically having like shitty paint over a lead base is what it is, dude. So yeah, not cool, bro. But we'll see how this goes this year. Hopefully, this actually runs straight. I've had other cream baits before. They're like little smaller guys than this that do not run straight at all. And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and grab a pack of those out right now specifically. Get it out of my bag here. There should be a bunch of lures here. Specifically, the ones I'm referring to that are cream bait stuff in this pack here is all of these little guys that are all stuck together right here. Like little micro dudes. And actually, I can just grab the one that's on its own there. I think there's one single one here on the corner that's actually that same. That looks like a bass. Yeah, it's like these little guys. They used to sell. I don't know if they sell those anymore, but they used to sell them about 4 or 5 seasons ago, and they were like buck 25, something like that, a piece. I've used them to some success. I mean, I've got like a couple fish on them, but for the most part, like most of them just seem to run not straight entirely. Like they're always kind of zigzaggy and shit. So yeah, not the greatest. And then there's the one I was looking at here. And then of course I did some stuff with some other baits in the past. Like I did my own single hooks on some of these just because I don't tend to like using treble hooks when it comes to any of them base baits like that, just because of the fact that it's just a pain in the ass, really. And actually, to go with the cream bait, this, which is I'm trying to think who makes this one. This would be a Rebel, one of the little teeny ass ones. Comparing that to that, there's not much difference, I think, except for price is more expensive on this one. And it's kind of sad when you look at it because it's like you're not really getting much more for what you're actually paying. So, it is what it is. And then we've used some poppers in the past and whatnot. So, that again are most of our hard baits and what have you. But trying to get those all back in there so they can close up properly. This was actually part of a larger pack that I got from. I don't think it was in the fishing section here. I think it was actually in the craft and fabrics area because it was like a tackle box, but it was called something else. And yeah, it comes with like 3 of these in it for like I want to say it was $20 back in the day. I have no idea what it is now. But then going on to the meat and bones, what we tend to use all year, which is our bag right here. Got a little knife there for cutting line and whatnot. And then in the front, we got stuff everywhere in this. We obviously have our pliers, which never leave home without them. And then we have a whole bunch of various hooks in one of these little, again, it's an options box from there. I think it used to be $1 or $2 a piece, but now they're like a couple dollars a piece. But yeah, got a various hooks in there. 3/0, 4/0, weighted, whatnot. A lot of these I actually got from a few years ago when this was back in like 2018, 2019, somewhere in there. They had sales going on for clearance items, and I picked up a shitload of those based on sales for clearance items, as well as a lot of stuff in this one actually that I've used since then, because you can get a lot of good stuff on clearance at these places for. It used to be very cheap, but then people started, realizing that it was like, oh yeah, we can actually get good shit over here, or whatever. And then they kind of fucked over everybody is what it was. But anyway, so that was the first of 4 packs. We got that. We got this side. We got the other side. We got the top that we're gonna do the last. So on the first of the 2 sides, got all of our other stuff here. Got some more hooks, eagle claw. This is actually one of the last things that one of my now deceased uncles gave me. Was a pack of must-have hooks that I have never finished using because of that, and probably never will, just because it was the last thing he ever gave me as a gift. And then that same year, you had a bunch of must-add one-aught hooks on sale for 75 cents a piece for these packs of 4. I then put like 10 of them in and threw away the rest of them, is what it was then. Then we got some more eagle hook ones. And then from Ollie's, this is various other hook sets and stuff like that. You got the South Bend size 2 hooks. We got the South Bend size 1 hooks. And then one of the things I actually like quite a bit, and this is something that I've used to very good success. Unfortunately, I don't know why Walmart stopped selling them, but apparently they stopped selling them a couple years ago. Which was at one point they used to sell these B&M baits, which were fucking awesome because you had a bunch of different colorations of them. You basically had blue black chartreuse, you had yellow fire chartreuse, and then you had other stuff like gold and whatnot. Like obviously that's a chartreuse tail, and it's like a black silver coloration, and then you had like straight black and a few other ones here, and I don't think there's any ones that are black in this one yet, but yeah. Basically, it was that kind of silver black, except you replace the silver with blue, and you still have the same chartreuse tail there. Actually, there's one in this other pack here. So let me grab that out. I have caught so many bluegill and crappie specifically on that color combination right there, that blue black chartreuse color. That being said, I've used some of the other ones from them. Like obviously, you just got this little like chartreusey only one. There was that base black one that was in the other pack, and then there was this what is this one called? Fire Tagger, which is like a weird, it's almost like a lemon lime coloration on it, and it's got the red tail. These are not that great, honestly. These specific colors on there, I haven't really ever caught anything on them. And I don't know if it's just because it was here in Ohio and the fish didn't just want to bite those ones or what it was. And then again, it could be the conditions as well, what have you. So, but yeah, so we got those. And then I think that was pretty much it here for that side. Yeah, it's all, there's like another pack of hooks here. And then for the other side, shove all that back in there, close it up here real quick. For the opposite side there, got a bunch of other good stuff that we have used for various, well, actually we haven't used a lot of this yet. We've used some of it over the years on various things, but most of this we're actually going to try and use this year. So this is a bunch of stuff I got from Ollie's like I think 2 years ago, give or take. And then the one thing was from Walmart legitimately. Obviously, I've used beetle spins in the past. This is actually one of the better ones for catching fish, specifically panfish. For some reason, they tend to love the green and the black colorations. And I wish that, honestly, I wish Beetle Spin would sell ones that aren't just like multi-packs like this. I wish they'd sell ones that were just like 5 black or 5 green or 5 orange or 5 yellow or something like that. Because when you're putting like those colorations on and they're tearing them up like crazy after the first like, 4 or 5 fish or whatever, and then they don't want the other colors is what it is. And then one of the other ones we're going to use this year hopefully would be the we got this from Walmart a couple years ago. It's one of the little Ozark Trail um, hard baits. And then from all these stuff that we have here, it's like various spoons and stuff. These are all like I think $1 or something. Yeah, you got this little teeny Danielson spoon that was sitting in a place there for several years before I bought it. Is what it was. Then we got a different one, different color combination there, and then a third one that's a little green one. And then we got this 3-pack that is Johnson Slim Fish, which are all like various like weird spoon. They're like oddly shaped, I guess is what I'd say on that one. So hopefully going to use some of these for various things this year and maybe catch a fish or two on them and see if they actually work or not. That's why they're still obviously in the packs after a few years after I bought them now, because I've never actually gotten a chance to get out and use them because unfortunately for me, if I'm down at the place for like a day or two, I will tend to see what works. And then if I know I'm catching stuff on the one bait or, a couple particular baits or whatever, I just won't change anything else is what it is. And I think a lot of people are like that too, honestly. So, it is what it is. And then moving on to our middle big pack here. So obviously this is completely full of stuff. So first and foremost, we're going to go to what I was using last year, which is good old baits. I'm trying to think what these are called offhand now. Havoc makes them, and I forget exactly what they're called offhand, but basically, probably caught about 20 bass on one of these last year, and they tore this motherfucker up a lot. And then we got other variations in there. Just another different coloration of that. And then a third, I think this is more of a like green pumpkin color or something. So yeah, we like to keep those around just because. And those are, by the way, these are really good to use on the those 1/0 hooks, the mustad ones, because that's what I was using to catch all that stuff last year. And then for other things we have in here, unfortunately, I need to get a new case here one of these days because this one's kind of fucked up right now. Doesn't want to close on the one side anymore. But basically, I just pull this off of here for the time being. And I'll show you guys what I'm talking about, by the way, when I'm talking about different stuff. So if you leave baits at all with different hooks in them, you can see what I'm talking about, where I'm talking about the bleeding of those baits like that, where it kind of bled a little bit, but then it also tends to bleed real bad on the other baits and stuff. And like I said, I think it's just cheap ass. It's like a spray paint or something they're using to do the heads on those. And it really is a pain in the ass. Actually, just looking at how long all this stuff's been here together, these used to be, I believe, a pearl white color. And now they're more or less like, at least from my looking at it, they're kind of getting a pink shade on them, is what it is now. Which makes sense because you got, your pure pinks over here in the one corner, a bunch of other stuff in there in different places. These ones right here, if you put them in water long enough, they'll actually become like a weird translucent color and glow in the dark. And then everything else mostly is from, what was I going to say here? Is all from I think it was a crappie set for the most part. But then we have other things in here. Like I believe this was part of a crappie set, this little dude. That's got a bunch of fish too, by the way. And again, like I said, just bleeding off the orange and stuff. One that I've caught a ton of fish on though is this Yum. It is a lime chartreuse coloration, and they love that. The bluegill, the bass, the crappie, all of them, dude. Love that coloration. They also tend to go quite a bit for this one, which I believe was called Christmas Tree or something. It almost looks like a money color. It almost looks very much like that other one from the it kind of reminds me a little bit of this sun perch one that Walmart does for theirs now, color wise. But yeah, those are all real good. And then, like I said, you also got other stuff that came in that same pack of things. Jesus. I'm trying to grab one of these out here, and like 10 of them are trying to come out. What is what it is. But yeah, all the ones that used to come in those like little crappie packs, it was like these little teeny guys that are like 1 inchers and stuff. These do catch fish. It just depends on the coloration. It also depends on how long you're willing to wait for a bite. And if you, change too fast or whatever the case be, you might not get a bite on them or whatever then. So, but yeah, that's definitely not sitting right anymore on that. So I'm going to tie that back together then. I think at some point I'm just going to get rid of this case entirely and go buy a new case is what it is. I know I got this from a dollar store at one point, and I'll probably just go back there and see if I can't find another one for just as cheap then. But yeah, I'm going to tie on it right now for the time being to keep it good. It's usually fine, usually holds together long enough anyway. So anyway, for other stuff in that pack, we got different variations of tackle boxes here, little baby tackle boxes, just more of the same basically, and some different stuff as well. These specifically are Zoom. I'm trying to think of the name of them is now. It's like the teeniest thing that they make, basically, and put them on a jig head. I've caught a couple fish on that before, and obviously without the thing in it, it looks very much like that. And then we got other various things in this one. We have the just like straight chartreuse from Yum. We have all of the other stuff here. Got more of our blue black chartreuse, B&M baits in there, mostly because they love those. Got the regular black B&M grub. They don't tend to bite on that very often. That's one thing I have noticed lately. And it is what it is. And then we also got some other stuff in this one as well. It's mostly just, again, a lot more of the same. And then, there's like a few things here and there that are different. And then for other ones, we got our little, what I call tackle pack there. That's all of our hard tackle for all of our jig heads and stuff like that. So we put in an old sewing kit thing. Got anything from I believe it is 1/64 of an ounce jig heads in here to what I actually like, which are these little sickle head hooks. Unfortunately, they're a lot more expensive than they need to be. And then we got, this was back when they had the sales and stuff like that. I think these are like either 1 ounce or like 3/4 of an ounce heads. And those are actually good to put in frogs. That's one thing I noticed as well, is that they're really good for frogging and stuff like that. Sorry, I'm trying to move some of these back in together so I can actually close this and shut it properly then. But yeah, this is all various like couple dollar packs to like stuff that was on sale basically in the last few years. And then we have our worms for various things. So got finesse worms. We have some more of the zooms, which I can't remember what the damn name of those is offhand. It's really irritating me now that I can't think of it. We got our lizards. I really wish I could find these, but with a blue tail on them again, because that was one thing I had a while ago, and then they stopped selling them locally, and it's really fucking annoying because I can't find them anywhere. Speaking of stuff I can't find anywhere that is not the now closed Kmart's, we have our this is a Berkeley, I believe, yeah, Berkeley finesse worm, which was a emerald green color. I've caught a ton of bass on this. They will tear that motherfucker up for real. And then let me see here. Actually, this is one of the ones I was talking about here. This is the kind of lizard I'm trying to find right here that I cannot find locally at local Walmarts and stuff like that. It has the blue tail on it, and these are the ones that bass tend to go after quite a bit, where it's like the black body blue tail. And then yeah, this is mostly just a bunch of other. Yeah, I think it's mostly the same there. Some various between Zoom and Berkeley and stuff like that in there. So go ahead and shove all that down to one. Close that one up. We got all of our panfish stuff in this one for the most part. Well, over several different ones. This is actually something I wish I could find again. I found this when I was a kid. These little teeny frogs like this. I have no idea who the hell made them. And I'm about to just take one, because I have 4 of them right now. And I'm about to just take one of them and make a mold out of it so I can actually have one left for fishing forever. Because those are definitely going to catch big bass. And as you guys can see with this one here, I put a little jig head through it there, and that has caught a couple bass already over the past couple of years. And then, as you can see, what I was talking about with the bleed offs and stuff, how that keeps it's just like bleeding off in the eyes and stuff like that. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. And it's got to be because it's like a little bit wet. Because it does it with every single one of them. Like even that one right there, like you can tell it's like a little bit like right at the back. It like does like bleed off and stuff like that. It just sucks. And speaking of things that used to be kind of pearl color and are now a different color from just the baits I've been hanging out with the last couple of years, you see how yellow that has become now. Mostly because it was sitting with just a chartreuse is what it was, dude. And yeah, over time it'll just change coloration is what it is. So it's just funny. And actually, even this one's kind of changed color a little bit now. It's become quite a bit darker and more or less yellowing. I've caught a couple bass on that though before. This used to be a pearl color at the bottom, and then it was blue on the top there. But yeah, I tend to like. I've noticed lately, especially with the way I fish in the last probably 4 to 5 years or so, from my uncle's death and stuff, is I tended to start going less hard baits and more like grubs and small stuff, just because it was easier to catch things and it was also easier to take fish off in the long run. And then we got various pack of same stuff here. Actually, to show everybody what that, oh my god, show everybody what that previous one's supposed to look like. It's supposed to look like this, where it has almost a pearl coloration to it, and then it's blue on the back. And then, yeah, I need to take some of these out of here and just do like a washout or something. You can see how they're bleeding together like crazy. Just on everything, dude. Jesus. And these are still kind of pearlish. That's what that other one is supposed to look like. And then just touch that, and now it's all like white shit on my finger now. Hopefully I got that off on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, it's just insane. All right, back again. Yeah, the last one in that last pack. Then we got our little chartreuse ones, and this has caught a couple here. Alright, I'm back again. Sorry, fucking internet dipped out on me like that, like an asshole. Anyway, so to go to next pack of stuff we have here, this is just various other things. Mostly it's just little beetle spin stuff and whatnot. And again, you can see how colors change when you leave it by chartreuse things. One of the things we actually want to catch a fish with this year is this big guy right here, just because of the coloration of it. I haven't caught a fish with that yet. These little teeny guys will tend to catch quite a bit, is what it is, though. One thing I have noticed too is, unless it's like a big bass or like a big gill or big crappie or whatever, they tend to not go after the huge body ones, and listen to go after the smaller to mid-sized bodies. And then of course we got all of our little uh spinners and stuff in there. I'm not gonna take them out, but let's see right there in the back. Got a little spinner packs and stuff with some other larger ones and whatnot. So yeah, basically just a bunch of beetle spins in here. Is what it is. Just gonna